in Westminster, Hannah Bardell MP. Good evening to you, Hannah Bardell. First of all, isn't it reasonable to assume that when it comes to negotiation, it's either going to be Conservative or Labour, so they are the main two that should be on that stage?
I think what we've heard from the programme up until now, it's become far too much about what individual politicians may or may not want. And the reality is that, we've had devolution in the UK for, 20 years. The broadcasters need to catch up with that. This isn't difficult. The SNP are the largest party in Scotland at Westminster. We have 35 MPs. We've won the last two elections at Westminster in Scotland. We are in charge in government in Scotland and have been for over 10 years. It is our democratic right to be involved in those debates. And it is the democratic duty of the broadcasters to make sure that all voices, not just the SNP, but the devolved nations and Leave and Remain, are represented and
hard Brexiteers and People's Vote and so forth. And I wonder, that the People's Vote have actually put in a formal complaint, both the BBC and Ofcom.
Well, good on them.
The deal is the only deal on the table. Would you take part in the debate and call and complain, make a formal complaint if you weren't going to be included?
Well, I think we've got a little while to go before, the final decision on that. Well, not long, and quite incredible that the broadcasters didn't get around the table and think about this sooner. But nonetheless, this is not difficult. The reality is that we have had in previous general elections the rainbow of different parties.
And you saw it. I mean, it was like 7 or 8 people.
And it was really positive. But, what we know from the public is they are fed up of the binary nature of UK politics. It's stuck in the past, and we must reflect, and the broadcasters must reflect, the range of voices and views on this issue and across the UK in terms of devolution. We have 4 nations.
Do you accept
they need to be represented. And also, we were told Scotland voted by 62% to leave the EU, and we've been told that we're going to be dragged out against our will.
62% to remain, you mean?
Sorry, yes, 62% to remain, my apologies. We voted 62% to remain, and we're going to be taken out against our will. And in a UK-wide... We were told that that was a UK-wide vote and we have to be dragged out against our will. But in a UK-wide debate, we're not allowed to be part of that. I'm sorry, that just doesn't cut it, and you can't have it all into the middle.
I mean, you say that these debates before were very, energising or whatever. It was crazy. There were 7 people. It's very hard. Can you imagine, on the nature of what's being discussed on Brexit, with a deal on the table and the only deal on the table, if every single part of it is unpicked in a debate, what is the public going to think?
I think the public really enjoyed the fact that they got to see different voices, different perspectives. Brexit is a hugely complex issue, and it's a democratic travesty that people didn't get properly informed until after the event. This debate allows the opportunity for it to be opened up, to respect the nature of devolution.
But the voters can't vote. There is no vote. We're so beyond that now. There's no vote.
We also have the ridiculous situation that both Theresa May and Jeremy Corbyn aren't in favour of the single market and customs union. So what's the point in having 2 of them on? You might as well just have one each on each channel. That's a ridiculous argument. If you follow the logic through, we have to make sure that all of those views are respected. It is a complex issue. I think that the broadcasters can get together. We can come up with a sensible solution.
And so you back the idea of the debates. Sorry, just yes or no. You actually back the idea of a debate per se.
Oh, we absolutely back the idea of a debate. We were part of the petition that Sky put together that's now got over 100,000 supporters to have television debates as part of the democratic process, as a standard part of elections.
And we're going to come along to talk about that. But just if this government collapses, would the SNP give confidence to Jeremy Corbyn only if he said he would grant a second referendum? That's been discussed, hasn't it?
Well,
on independence, sorry, not on EU. I'm talking about Scottish independence. Would you support Jeremy Corbyn if he agreed a second independence referendum for Scotland?
Well, I think that we have to wait and see what happens. I mean, at the end of the day, we said at the last 2 elections that we would work as a progressive force at Westminster. We have to see what's put on the table. We have to see... I mean, at the moment, Jeremy Corbyn doesn't even back being in the EU. He doesn't know what his policy is. His party's all over the place. But there is good cross-party work happening behind the scenes to stay in the single market and customs union. The SNP is very focused on that.
Thank you very much, Hannah Bardell. I'm afraid I have to finish you off here because we have 2 guests here in the studio. I'm joined by 2 people who have been involved in TV debates on both sides of the camera for good and ill.